Hello everyone, today I'm going to tell you about the game that I developed, which just released. It's called The Lost Worlds, and it's from my series Relic Worlds, which is a book series, and it has a lot of other materials on it. It's basically like if Indiana Jones and Star Wars had a love child, and that child was awesome. As I said, it's a book series, it's a lot of other different materials, that sort of thing. You can see it all on relicworlds.com, and this is the board/card game for it. I'm going to show you bits and pieces about it, and it's basically how to play, but it's not going to be a tutorial. I'm just going to show you elements about it so you can see what it is. Alright, so the idea of the series is that humanity is spread out into the cosmos, and they found the remains of a lot of alien civilizations, but they haven't found the aliens themselves. They've found ruins, and they've found relics and artifacts and all that sort of thing, and many of them are very powerful. So there's almost like this race to sort of get them. The people who know that these relics can be very powerful really want them. They want them for various reasons that are reflected in the game. You have scientists, archaeologists, anthropologists, that sort of thing, like these people. You've got, and they want it, of course, for research and to better humanity, all that sort of thing. Well, in the case of someone like Nico's, actually he wants to just sort of make money off of them. You have corporate barons, you have pirates, basically people who want it for all of their different reasons, and their special rules within the game reflect that. So you have special rules for the scientists being able to sort of research more and understanding these civilizations a little bit more, so they're better at getting those things. Corporations are better at making money, pirates go around stealing stuff from people, etc., etc. So this is basically how you play it. The object of the game is to get the most number of points, and you get points through getting these relics that are here. Some of them are artifacts, each of them have different amounts of points, but basically you're trying to get these into your hand or back to civilization, and you get points from them at the end of the game. The game ends when 2 of these 3 planets are cleared of relics. They've gone somewhere, and basically the person who has the most number of points at that point wins the game. The first thing you do is you, of course, choose one of your characters. Now, they are characters on different sides. That one's me, by the way. These things have, the little chits have the characters on both sides. So you choose one of the characters, and then every turn, once everybody's chosen their characters, of course, you take your turn, and every turn you get to choose one location to go to. These are within civilizations. They're basically civilized planets, or human civilized planets, populated planets, let's say. And you can go to those for free, and you can do basically any of the actions that are listed on there. It's one action that you get to do. So let's say, for instance, you go to the university. One of the things you can do is draw a research card. Boom. And your turn is done. Next person goes, they choose a location, they go to the museum, and they decide to purchase a surveyor. This is the surveyor. You get the surveyor that's your color. Boom, turn is done. Next person chooses their location, and so on and so forth. Let's say this next person decides, oh wait a minute, I went out of order. Let's say this next person decided she was going to go to one of these planets. Well, these planets cost 1 to go to. I didn't give them their money. Let's just say here that they have these amounts of money. So she would spend 1 to go here, and then she would have to essentially deal with the planet. And what happens at the planet is you go on an adventure. This is where the main mechanic of the game takes place. Essentially, you're trying to get these relics, and the top layer here, the white layer, or actually really bottom layer, is the lowest number of points, then a little higher, then a little higher. You have to start at the top. You cannot get further until it's cleared. So she would have to go after, say, this one. And she couldn't go after this gray one, even when that's cleared. The gray one still isn't clear. It has to be both are cleared before that comes available. And now that's still not available. In order to get that, all this would have to be clear, and then she could go after this one. So, let's say she's going to go after this one. She's already spent some money to go there. It's an electro. Electro is the money in Relic Worlds. So she spent her electro. She wants to go after this relic right there, and so she draws a card, and the card says sinkhole. It's an obstacle. Pass with jet shoes. Well, she does not have jet shoes. She needed to buy that while at one of these places. That's the reason to go to some of these human civilized places first, because essentially what you're doing at these locations is preparing yourself to go to these. You're going to corporations to get money, essentially, you're dealing with money type of issues. You go to the university to buy equipment and to draw research cards, which help you with the adventures. And you go to the museum to purchase these surveyors, sell our relics once you've gotten them. So she got a sinkhole. She did not pass it. So what she does is she rolls on this die. It has all these different colors and a couple of symbols. On here, it has two different symbols on it. And so what that means essentially is if she rolls either of those symbols or her own color, which is yellow, she passes it. So it means that it's not that difficult of a situation. So she rolled yellow, she passes it, she gets to take this. This is now hers. Now when you get one of these relics, you look at it and it has a few different pieces of information, the number of victory points that are on it, the number of electros that it's worth if you sell it. And she has to immediately, during her turn, decide whether or not it's a clue to find the constellation crest, which at the end of the game is worth 12 points. If she does, she finds this is sort of a yellow card, and so she puts it on the yellow part of her, I know it's all yellow, but the same shade of yellow on her card, and there you go. She has placed it there. That relic, that specific relic, is not going to be worth any victory points at the end. And she's not going to be able to sell it. She's not going to be able to put it anywhere. It is there for the rest of the game. But at the end of the game, whoever has the most number of victory points on that constellation crest color gets the constellation crest itself, which is worth 12 victory points. So sometimes you want to go for that. You know, usually the individual relics like this one, the victory point is only worth 1 victory point. So as you can tell, sometimes it's worth it. But the thing is, nobody else knows how many points that you have going towards the constellation crest. So they might, this person might start outbidding you, but they don't know if they're outbidding you or not, and it could be wasted points, it could be valuable, or she could just simply hold on to it for another time. You can hold on to relics for the entire game, and sometimes they're worth more if you pair them with other relics. Sometimes you can trade them in for artifacts, all that sort of thing. This is not going to be a tutorial, so I'm not going to go through every step of it, but that's the basic idea. Another thing you can do is later on you can go to the museum, and remember it says sell relics. So this is the, not sure what color that is, sort of a green, blue, aqua, or I don't know, fuchsia, I don't know what it is. Anyway, so say she sells it, it is worth what it says on there, 3 electros, and she puts it face up on that particular part. So now they actually can see how many victory points she's getting and what her money is from that and all that sort of thing. So she would get the 3 electros from that, and she will get the victory points at the end for that. So she gets paid for it, and she gets victory points at the end for having them there. However, it's not going to count towards having pairs. Like I was saying, you can get extra points for that. So it seems like, well, that seems like the best option because you're going to get money and victory points. Well, there's another thing you can do. Later on in the game, as you're drawing corporation cards, you're going to usually draw things like this, where you get a minor grant, 4 electros. This is usually, like I say, where you get money. But every now and then, you're going to draw something like this. Collector, mountain relics. He pays double for mountain relics. So, let's say she came back. Let's say that Sarah Lucetta came over here to Abraxas, and she managed to get herself a mountain relic. She holds on to it. She goes over here. She now sells this relic, and you can see the black spot, so she sells that relic. It says 3 electros, but he's paying double for that, so she's now getting 6. The browns are worth 5, the white is 1. So now she's making more money, and the further down you go, the more valuable they are. So let's say you get one of the 3rd layer ones. This is worth 6 electros. She sells it over here. She's now getting 12 electros for that. You also get some victory points for having a lot of money. I think it's like 1 victory point per 3 money or something like that. So you can actually have that victory. Plus, her special ability is she gets 1 extra electro every time she gets money. So that time she got 3, she would have gotten 1 more. If she gotten 12, she would have gotten 13, etc., etc. That's how characters like that work. Her father, who's on the flip side, he can make himself into one of the collectors every turn, which benefits everyone because then everyone can sell to him to make more money, but then he gets the relics, and at the end he kind of has collected all these people's different relics. Here's the other thing. when you sell to a collector, you put it on, like I say, on this black spot. At the end of the game, whoever has the most number of victory points from selling to collectors gets the looter card, or looter marker, which is -5 victory points. So you get a lot more money, but you also lose prestige for it, and can suffer at the end of the game. One of the other things that can happen is you can come upon ruins. Some of these markers will say ruins on them, and when that happens, you draw a ruins card. Your adventure just sort of involves going into some ruins now. And like in this case, it says major discovery, draw an artifact. Perfect, it takes us to the other deck. Some of these markers also say artifact on them. In those cases, you draw the artifact, or in the case of like when you draw a card like this, you draw an artifact. Also, if you can trade in some of these markers when you get like doubles and triples, you can trade them in for artifacts, that sort of thing. In this particular case, you drew the artifact. It was the Promo Thurge, reroll failed obstacle failures. So, what that means is, essentially, let's say that you come over here, and like in Sarah Lacetta's case, she rolled and passed this obstacle. But let's say he came over here and he didn't. He rolled a red. That means he's going to fail. His turn is done. He doesn't get the relic that he was going after. He's lost his turn, essentially, and he lost whatever money he spent going to that space. But because he has the Promo Thurge, he gets to roll again. Oh, he still failed, but you get the idea. If he rolled one of the right things this time, now he gets to take the relic, and he's not wasted his time, he's not wasted his money. So these artifacts can be pretty powerful. So let's do just a quick sample turn to give you a sense of how this game works. So let's say Lancaster James decides he's going to go over to Valoris. He spends some money. Let's say he adds some. There we go. He had spent 1 to go over there. And now he wants to get this relic. He cannot go after the gray because the white is still there. So he draws one of the adventure cards. It's a snake. Obstacle, pass with a pistol. He does not have a pistol, so he's going to have to roll. He wants a green, or he wants the little symbol there. So he rolls, he gets a yellow, he does not, but he has the Promo Thurge for some reason. So early in the game, somehow he has it. He rolls again, rolls a red, he still fails. He's just failing all around. So he did not get that. So we go on to Mika's turn. She is over here at the museum. She decides to go over to the university, and she decides to draw a research card. And it says whenever drawing a research card, draw 3. Then replace the others in whatever order they want, I think is what it says. Anyway, so she draws 3 cards, and she can choose any of those because that's her special ability. Normally she just draws the top one, but because she's Mika, her special ability is to draw 3 and choose one. She chooses the ancient city, and puts the others wherever she wants. She just puts one there and puts the other one at the top. There we go. Gaelic, oh, he's not the looter yet. Actually, we had his. Well, we'll say it's Gaelic. He can. Let's see. Let's say that he goes over to Abraxas. He spends 1. He decides to go on this adventure. This is missing one of the black pieces. I just noticed that. Oh well. Anyway, he draws a cliff. It's an obstacle. Pass with climbing equipment, or get it on his color, or this little thing. Blue. He does not pass it. He does not have something to make allow him to reroll. He's just wasted his turn. And we got over here the pirate. She decides to come over here. Her special ability is to steal from people. She goes over here. She was going to try to steal from him. Figures out, oh wait, he doesn't have anything. She had to spend her money to go over there. So she decides to go on an adventure herself. Frost, obstacle, pass with climbing equipment, or any of these. She gets one of those. She passes it. She gets this. She goes, you know what, this is a clue to the Constellation Crest. It'll not be worth points in and of itself, but it'll get her closer to finding that big thing that'll be worth 12 points in the end. And that's basically it. That is the Lost Worlds. It is the board/card game for the series Relic Worlds, which you can find all kinds of information about on relicworlds.com. The links are below, and you'll find this board game as well as other games, short stories, novels, choose your own adventure books. This, which is the second of the series, and a whole lot of other things. It's just a continuing series going on. It's very near and dear to my heart. It's the mixture of what's been big for my generation, Indiana Jones and Star Wars, basically mixed into one big treasure hunting event. Alright, so hopefully you'll enjoy it, and let me know in the comments below if you have any questions, if you'd like to see a tutorial video that really teaches you the nitty-gritty of how to play this game, or if you have any other questions or issues. Like I say, the link is in the comments below. Happy gaming, everybody!